Good morning, children. Welcome to our next class. In last class, you learned about deforestation meaning and what are the causes for deforestation and the consequences of deforestation we discussed. So, in today's class, what happens when deforestation continuously goes on? Why we should conserve the plants and animals on planet Earth? These things we are going to discuss, children. Before knowing that, how it affects when conservation is not taking place. All the animals, including human beings, depend on each other as well as on the environment. We all are depending on the environment and we all need cooperation with each other. Even though they are very tiny organisms, they are taking an important role to maintain the ecological balance. You can look at this picture. This shows that ecosystem of an environment. Ecosystem meaning it consists of all the living organisms along with plants, animals, human beings and their food materials along from their surroundings, and also the non-living things like soil, like water, these all climate, these all together referred as ecosystem. So in an ecosystem, every creature is important. What happens if any tiny organism missing from an ecosystem? It leads to the imbalance of the ecosystem. Any disturbance in it gives rise to the imbalance. Animals will become endangered, and therefore maintaining the environmental balance. To maintain the environmental balance, we need to conserve the plants and animals. So in such a way, conservation is very important function to maintain our ecosystem, to live all the organisms on planet Earth. How to conserve this ecosystem, or how to protect our environment? Before knowing that, you should understand about the words of endangered and extinct animals. What's the meaning of extinct animals and what's the meaning of endangered animal? And before knowing that, you also must understand about flora and fauna. What's the meaning of flora? The plants found in a particular area, any wildlife, any area, any environment, any forest, any grassland, any desert area, any mountain area, any areas, as I am showing in the picture, when you take any areas, it's like a forest or desert areas, anywhere, the plants, whatever the plants you are able to see, all these plants called as flora. And fauna means the animals in a particular area, the animals which we are finding in that particular area known as fauna. So the flora and fauna are very important to maintain an ecosystem in any particular area. Ecosystem consists of all the living organisms including plants, animals, microorganisms, human beings, and along with their environment, non-living things like soil, water, climate, weather, these all together called as ecosystem. Every living body, every living organism taking an important role to maintain this ecosystem. If we are continuously doing deforestation, if we are continuously disturbing the nature, then it causes for imbalance in the environment, imbalance in our ecosystem, and it leads to the extinction and endangered species to find. What's the meaning of endangered species? Extinct species means they already vanished from the planet Earth. Long back, they ruled over the earth, they lived on earth, but right now they are not present on earth. They are not living on earth. Due to the human activities, or natural calamities, their species completely vanished from planet Earth. So those animals are known as extinct animals. Once upon a time, they lived on Earth, and right now their species are completely disappeared. So those species are called as extinct species, extinct animals. To our governments, our NGOs are working a lot to conserve these plants and animals, and a book is available for us to understand about the extinct species. That book name is Red Data Book. So this Red Data Book gives us a record of all endangered species. All endangered species. Endangered means right now these species are available on planet Earth, but their number is becoming very less. There is a threat for the population of that particular species. Right now they are available on planet Earth, but their number is becoming very less. Day by day, that may be the natural calamities affecting them or the human activities are affecting them. So wherever the animal species number is becoming reduced, those animals can be recognized and their names are recorded in this book, particular book called as Red Data Book. So it maintains the record of all endangered plants and animals. So by observing like that, we can understand to which animals we need to give a special care and we need to protect them. So in case of this, according to the Red Data Book, government started a program called as Project Tiger program. This program is specially mentioned for protecting the tigers population, especially the Bengal tigers are protected by Project Tiger program. It was launched on 1st April 1973 by the government of India, and the animals are protected in that way as they were in their natural habitat. They are allowed to move, allowed to survive, allowed to live in their natural habitat. And you know the habitat meaning where the naturally that particular animal lives, that's called as its habitat. So these animals are allowed to survive, allowed to move in their natural habitats, and no human activities like hunting, poaching, killing of these animals are strictly prohibited. So if anyone follows this, if anyone doing such activities, government can take action on them. So like this, there are some actions, some laws are given by our government to protect the endangered species, and this Red Data Book is helping us to find out the species which are in danger list, which species are going to be extinct. So those can be protected by using this Red Data Book and by n number of wildlife sanctuaries, national parks. These all are working to protect the plants and animals, to protect the wildlife. Different biosphere reserves are working, different national parks are working, wildlife sanctuaries are working to protect or conserve the plants and animals. And especially endemic species are also available. Endemic species means the species which are particular to any one particular region. They belongs to only that particular region. Such species are called endemic species. For example, if you see Panchmari Biosphere Reserve, salt trees are very famous in Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. We can see the salt trees only in that particular area. So the endemic species are very valuable to that region. So to protect them, some acts, Some laws are taken up by the state governments, all the local bodies are, and the tribes who are living in that particular area are also given protection by biosphere reserves. Otherwise, we can see the animals like this which are already extincted, like dinosaurs. You know, the dinosaurs ruled the planet Earth once upon a time. Yes, now the dinosaurs are in extinct list. They were not there on planet Earth. And you know, polar bears are in the list of endangered animal. Tigers are in the list of endangered animal. Our elephant population is decreasing like anything. So, to protect all these endangered species, there is compulsory a necessity is there to protect our laws, to obey our laws given by our government. So, what actually the biosphere means? The living organisms are found everywhere on earth, wherever you see, like a hot climate or very cold regions. At the top 100 degrees temperature also, microorganisms can survive. And you learned the adaptations of desert, mountains and plain lands, how plants and animals are adapting themselves. So everywhere living organisms can live on earth. The part of the earth and its atmosphere together called a biosphere. So biosphere is one of the area where it is protecting all the fauna and flora of that particular region. And here we need to understand even about biodiversity. What's the meaning of biodiversity? Biodiversity means there are two words in biodiversity. Biological diversity. It refers to the variety of living forms existing in the world, their interrelationships, like plants, animals, microorganisms, all together. For example, if you take any plant, for example, if you take a big huge tree, you can understand the biodiversity, or you can read about the biodiversity of this particular plant. How can we understand this? For example, if you take a banyan tree or a huge neem tree, you can see n number of animals depending on this, n number of living organisms depending on this huge tree. Some animals may live on the twigs of this plant, on the branches of plants, like monkeys, birds and all, depending on the branches of this plant. And we can see near the trunk of this plant also some animals are taking shelter, or like for example, if we take woodpecker, has a long pointed beak, can make a nest by making a hole in this trunk. It can make a nest here, and it is taking shelter from this trunk. To lay its eggs, to keep their eggs, they are using this trunk. And some animals can live near their roots, and the fallen leaves, the leaves which are dried from this plant, will fall on the ground, and they are getting that organic matter. All the dried leaves are getting converted into like manure by the help of small bacteria. That means the tiny microorganisms are depending on their dried leaves. And the soil, where the roots are arising, even in the soil, small microbes are depending. So the organisms, n number of organisms, have an interrelationship with each other. When this plant is not there, there is no shelter for different animals. When these animals are not there, this plant will not get the carbon dioxide for making photosynthesis. At the same time, the non-living things, materials like water, soil and nutrients are very, very essential for this plant to prepare their food. So the biodiversity means the interaction between the living creatures and the non-living things which are there around them. This interaction and each every tiny creature on this plant, including the microorganisms to the larger animals. So when all these animals were there, then the human beings are also included here. He can take the fruits which are coming from this plant. That is the livelihood for the human beings. And the human beings are also providing carbon dioxide to the plant. So all the living organisms which are available are depending on each other. If any organism is missing from this, then definitely it's gonna affect to the ecosystem. That's why it is duty of each and every person to conserve the plants and animals. And what are the wildlife protected areas? Different wildlife protected areas. Just now we had seen the national parks, the wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuary means here the animals can live according to their own will and wish. As in the natural surrounding, in natural habitat, the animals can live here. And human killing, poaching, hunting these animals are seriously prohibited in these areas. So such areas are known as wildlife sanctuaries. Understood? So, and one more thing, to conserve the plants and animals, to conserve our ecosystem, we need to recycle the paper. Paper is, to make 1 ton of paper, we are seriously cutting down 17 fully grown up trees are required to make 1 ton of paper. So when you are wasting the paper, it's equal to you are literally cutting down the trees. That's why we need to compulsory go for recycling. The used up papers, instead of throwing in the dustbins, instead of going to the landfill area, we can give them for recycling. After recycling, paper can be used up once again, and reuse it, recycle it, and save the paper. Don't leave the white pages. Use up all the papers which are there in your notebooks. But also to save energy, water, and chemicals. So many things we are using to make the paper. So when we save the paper, it's also economically going to help us. So this is recycling the paper is also one of the way to conserve the plants and animals, to conserve our nature. And reforestation, just now yesterday you learnt about deforestation. Opposite to the deforestation is reforestation. Reforestation means restocking or sowing the seeds on hilly areas and barren lands. Just try to grow some plants on these areas. And a group of people, everyone should take care of growing at least one plant. A lot of damage we are doing to the nature, and our duty to repay it. We can repay it by only the way by replanting, re-sowing the seeds. So these are some important tips to save our nature, to save our plants, to save our animals. So in tomorrow's class, we will read more about biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, where they are in India, how they are helping to conserve the nature, and what are the different plants available, different particular endemic species in that areas we will discuss, children. And your today's homework is, you write few innovative ways to conserve the nature, and you also list out the endemic species of your region, your place. What are the endemic species available? Try to find out, and at least find 3 plants and 3 animals, 3 endemic species of your region, note down in the notebook. At the same time, give few innovative tips to conserve nature. Thank you.